Well, tonight on the podcast, ladies and gentlemen, in this election, and you look at the Biden-Harris administration, look at where you're at today. Look at everything financially. I want you to look at the rent prices, the interest rates, the, insurance, the car insurance, the health insurance, how high that is. I want you to look at all that. Now, think about if you're a person like myself, Gen X, who probably just a little bit, far along in life, maybe doing just a little bit better. But think about our young brothers and sisters who are Gen Z. And remember when you was their age, right? Imagine what they are going through today. Case in point, I want you to listen to what this young sister has to say about what she's dealing with underneath this Biden-Harris economy.
I'm 20 years old. Why is a one-bedroom apartment $600, $1,600? Like, oh my God, for 500 square foot.
One at a time, I said. Yep.
Rent prices is outrageous. And then these jobs, they're bare minimum jobs. Like, I'm supposed to be in customer service. Before I was a server, I was working at like fast food restaurants, and nothing against them, love it, but we need them jobs. But why are you yelling at me over a burger? So it's one of those type of things. It's like the work life, trying to balance out school, trying to balance out finding housing. It's just overhyped. Like, I really waited my whole life to grow up and do this.
To have a one-bedroom apartment being $1,600, that is the price of a mortgage. Why is rent so doggone high? But all this happened during the Biden-Harris administration. Now, Vice President Kamala Harris wants you to give her 4 more years to continue what they're already doing. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, when she keeps saying, day one, I'm going to do, you already had your day one, ma'am. It was back in January of 2021. That was your day one. Okay? You're not getting a day one. You are doing a continuation. But if you look at where these young people are at, they can't even afford to move into their own place. I remember when I had about her age. I was 20 years old when I moved into my first place. And I had finished school earlier, and I moved. And I haven't left at all. And definitely rent was not that price what they're paying today. That would have been a price of a mortgage back then. But look, how can they move out? A 20-year-old who don't make money. Then listen to what the sister said about the jobs. The jobs don't pay enough to pay that rent. So how can you reward Vice President Kamala Harris 4 years, to continue to do what she already doing now? These young people, listen, I have children in that age range. I have a 20-year-old, about to be 20. I have a 22-year-old and a 25-year-old. And also a 23-year-old. And they can't afford these things like that. Definitely. Now my 23 and 25-year-old, they kind of moved on in life, but they're paired with someone, right? They're paired with men. So it's a little easier for them because they have 2 incomes coming in. That's why I told y'all 2 incomes, being in a relationship, marriage, things like that. It's going to have to be the norm again, because being single, a single young girl like that, she can't afford 3 times the rent. And not only the $1,600 that she would have to pay, but they want you to make 3 times the rent. And you know good and well somebody 20 years old is not making 3 times of that rent. You know that. They got some people that's in my age group may not even make 3 times the rent at that cost. But this is the legacy of the Biden-Harris administration, economic pain. And if you really want to go through 4 more years of this times 10, then go ahead on and go vote for Vice President Kamala Harris. How is she going to give you anything different than what you're getting now? The reason why you will go vote for her is because, hey, we're doing good. Kitchen table issues is the best it's ever been before. No, they ruined all of that. The Biden-Harris administration. Your pocketbook can't take 4 years of Kamala Harris. It's your pocketbook. It's your bank account. Y'all better think. You better think, especially you young brothers and sisters out there, you Gen Z brothers and sisters, look at where you at. You have no jobs. You can't afford rent. You can't afford nothing. But you're going to go put her in there. At least during the time of Trump, at least during that time, gas was lower, interest rates were lower, inflation was lower. We all have more money in our back pockets. And that's what you want. You want money in your back pocket. Let me tell you something, young brothers and sisters. You vote for the candidate that's going to keep money in your pocket and money in your bank account. You vote for the candidate that's going to have the right policies, not color, not gender, not a party, policies. Don't make the mistakes of the civil rights generation or even some of the mistakes of symbolism that came from Gen X or even millennials, or you know what I'm saying? Don't make that mistake. Symbolism is a failed strategy politically. It's a failure. It's that failed symbolism. Just because somebody may be black like you, or maybe a black woman or black adjacent, whatever you want to say, just because of that doesn't qualify her to be president. And for sure, she got to see a preview of what she would do while she was in office. That's the thing. At MSNBC know that. Why do you want more continuation of economic pain? That's not right. When you graduate school or college, you should be able to afford to move on your own. You shouldn't have to stay at your family's house. You shouldn't have to do that. Record foreclosures are happening all over the country. Record foreclosures. You having people who's being evicted out of their apartments, becoming homeless. Just records. How do you go vote for that? That's what I'm saying, my young brothers and sisters. You got an opportunity to make a change. You got the opportunity. Don't listen to these old people now. Some of these old people out here are silly. Look at their life, young brothers and sisters. Look at their life. Do you really want to be them, some of them? They so triggered behind a political candidate or political party. They're triggered by it. They'll go vote in Vice President Kamala Harris just because they're triggered about another candidate. And even at the end of the day, they would admit that they were living a lot better during the Trump years. But because the Democrats are telling whatever and they run with it, they don't use their brain. You young brothers and sisters are thinking a lot more. Even according to the Pew Research, y'all are becoming more policy voters. A lot of y'all have got away from them Democrats. And I'm proud of you, young brothers and sisters. In this election, think about that. Think about the high rent, the food. Think about the high gas. Think about the high insurance. Think about all that before you cast a vote. Or you may choose the couch. That's on you. But just think about it. Just always ask yourself this question. When you go in that voter booth, do I want 4 more years or what I got right now? If you want 4 more years, what you got right now, today, then you can vote for Vice President Kamala Harris. And that's exactly what you would get, 4 more years of it. Maybe times 10. And a lot more things behind it. Or you could say, hey, maybe we can put Trump in there. Maybe he can get it back to where it was when he was in there. That's really all the choices you have other than the couch. But think about your paycheck. Think about your pocketbook. Think about all of that. Because some of these older people that's out here, even some of them that's older than me, you look at what they have voted for. That's why we in the position we in now. It's because of their voting. The Congressional Black Caucus and all that, all symbolism voting, that failed symbolism. And what have we got out of the Congressional Black Caucus? Not a freaking thing. It's nothing but a symbolic caucus. It has no power. It has no sting. Nobody fears the Congressional Black Caucus. Nobody on the Hill fear them. What they gonna do? You understand? So it's not right what's happening with these young people. It's not right. And the young people got to make a change in this country or you're not gonna have one.